Welcome to The Game Changer with Dr. Sharalyn, where purpose meets performance and leaders are built to shift legacies. I'm Dr. Sharalyn Payne, executive strategist, speaker, and the secret weapon behind leaders who drive transformation at the highest levels. Each episode delivers bold truths, power skills, and real-world strategies to help you lead with precision, show up with presence, and build the kind of influence that outlasts trends. This is the space where high-impact decisions are born, where influence is intentional, and where the bold don't just lead, they change the game. So if you're ready to rise, ready to lead, and ready to create the kind of impact that moves markets, missions, and minds, you're in the right place. Welcome back to the Game Changer podcast. Every leader I've worked with, whether in the boardroom, the C-suite, or in the middle of organizational chaos, has one thing in common. They've all faced pain. But here's the truth most leadership books don't tell you. Pain isn't your enemy. It's actually the tuition. And the leaders who rise, the game changers, are the ones who learn to turn pain into power. So today I want to walk you through 8 ways game changer leaders transform setbacks into strengths, their struggles into strategy, and pain into purpose. And because I want this to be practical, I'll be giving you reflection prompts throughout our time together. If you're in a place where you can pause and jot them down, do it. If not, just go ahead and sit with the questions. Your answers are where the real transformation begins. Think about your last big failure. Was it a deal that you couldn't close? A promotion you thought you had in the bag, but you didn't get it? Maybe it was a project that went sideways, even though you put in 120%. Here's what I know. Failure feels final, but it's not. Failure is simply feedback. Game changers don't bury their failures, they interrogate them. They ask, 1, what did this teach me? 2, how will this serve me? And 3, how do I make sure I don't repeat it? Right now, think of one professional mistake that still stings. I'll give you a few seconds. Now, what was the tuition you paid for? What was the lesson? What did you learn that you wouldn't trade back? Not every lesson has to come from your own scars. I like to call this borrowing brilliance. Some of the best ones come from observation. I remember sitting in rooms early in my career just watching leaders. I watched how they handled conflict, how they made decisions, even how they carried themselves in their silence. Research shows leaders who actively model observed behaviors are 3 times more likely to accelerate their careers. But here's the kicker. You don't just learn from what to emulate. You also learn from what not to repeat. Who are the 5 leaders in your observation portfolio? Write down 2 of those right now. Just go ahead, write them down. 1 you admire, and we all have that leader that we admire. And 1 who's taught you by example of what not to do. And we all have that one as well. So go ahead and write it down. And then there's what I call the forge of credibility. It's where you learn from experience, the crucible moments. Harvard calls them crucibles because they're like fire. They either melt you down or refine you into something stronger. For one client, it was leading through layoffs. For another, it was being passed over multiple times for the top job. For me, it was being thrust into situations where I had to lead through broken systems, toxic cultures, and with leaders who engaged in outdated leadership principles. The formula I share is simple. Pressure and reflection equals your power. Now, name 3 crucible moments from your own career. For each, write down one line about how it shaped your leadership credibility. Game changers don't just bounce back, they propel forward. They capitalize on opportunities. When pain hits, and it will, they practice what I call the opportunity pivot. They pause, they reframe, and they advance. I think of one leader who was let go from a role she thought was her dream opportunity. Instead of collapsing, she built a consulting practice that not only outpaced her salary, but gave her freedom she never imagined. What's one challenge you're facing right now that might actually be a pivot point for you? Take a moment and reframe it, not as a setback, but as an opening, an opportunity, a catalyst for something greater. No leader climbs alone. We all need 3 types of people. We need mentors to guide us, sponsors to open doors, and mirrors to reveal our blind spots. Who's missing in your circle? Do you have a mentor, a sponsor, a mirror? If one of these roles is empty, commit to filling it in the next 90 days. Now, I know you may be thinking, at my level, do I need a mentor? Of course you do. Think about it like this. For Oprah, she had Maya. For Kobe, he had Michael. So you need a mentor, you need a sponsor, you need a mirror. And if you don't have those, again, commit to filling it within the next 90 days. And then there's learning from adversity, where our setbacks are really our setups. You see, adversity is universal. But here's the secret. Adversity actually qualifies you. A setback is a setup for a comeback. I've seen leaders use personal loss, career disappointments, even public failures as the very thing that made them credible. I want you to think of your last major setback. What hidden opportunity came out of it? Maybe a skill, a relationship, or even resilience you didn't know you had. We live in a world drowning in noise. The rarest leadership advantage, it's reflection. Executives who build reflection into their daily rhythms make faster, sharper, and fewer regrettable decisions. I use the 5-minute daily debrief. for myself, and I encourage you to adopt it for you. When you look over your day, I want you to think about this. What were your successes? What worked? Your wins, some people like to call them. What were your opportunities? What failed? And it doesn't matter if it was through no fault of your own, what simply didn't work. And what did you learn from both experiences? Because as we know, we learn more from our mistakes and our failures and our opportunities than we do from our wins and what does work. But we also recognize that if we don't take time to document what worked, we'll forget about what we did and how we got there. And it makes repeating those wins a little more challenging. So tonight, when you finish your day, ask yourself those 3 questions, just 5 minutes. Try it for 1 week and watch your clarity sharpen. Game changers learn from the future. If you don't remember anything else, I want you to remember that. Every pain point in your organization today is pointing toward tomorrow's innovation. One leader I know used the frustration of high employee turnover, not as a complaint, but as a catalyst to redesign culture. 3 years later, their company had the highest retention scores in the industry. So what's one recurring frustration in your team or your system? Instead of dismissing it, what future possibility is it signaling and waiting on you for? Here's what I want you to carry with you. Resilience isn't about survival. It's about strategy. Game changer leaders don't just survive the pain, they weaponize it. They turn it into power, credibility, and influence. The question isn't if pain will come. It absolutely will. The real question is, will you waste it or will you leverage it? That's the resilience advantage. That's what set game changers apart. Until next time, keep leading with credibility, courage, and conviction. You don't lead like everyone else, so your resources shouldn't look like everyone else's. Welcome to the Game Changers Leadership Collection for maximizing performance, potential, and profitability. This leadership collection features best practices, insights, and frameworks from my executive level work with high impact leaders across industries. It's designed to equip you with the clarity, tools, and strategic language needed to lead with credibility under pressure. Let's be clear. In high stakes rooms, executive presence isn't optional. It's mission critical. That's why I created the Executive Briefing Companion, your strategic script for navigating leadership's most defining moments. Whether you're in the boardroom, in front of the C-suite, or facing complex stakeholder dynamics, this tool helps you rise above the noise and lead with clarity, courage, and command. At its core is the 9 executive questions framework, a high-impact structure that ensures your message cuts through uncertainty, aligns your audience, and positions you as the credible voice in the room. Think of this as your strategic battle card, the leadership intelligence you carry into the room that tests you most. Also included is the language of influence, your cheat sheet for persuasive, purposeful communication. These phrases and framing techniques are drawn from high-stakes boardrooms, top-tier executive coaching, and transformational leadership practices. Use this tool to strengthen your executive presence, navigate tension with calm authority, drive clarity, buy-in, and high-stakes alignment, and speak with power without overpowering. You'll also get a preview of the 10 daily power skills, the high performance behaviors that fuel the world's most impactful leaders, creatives, activists, entrepreneurs, and change makers. These are not soft skills, they are strategic habits that create undeniable outcomes. You'll be able to self assess with the high impact leadership scorecard, find your edge, close your gaps, activate your next level. And to ground your leadership in inspiration and intention, you'll receive the power of one poster, a visual reminder that one decision, one conversation, or one action can shift everything. Finally, I'm giving you access to my mini course, 7 Leadership Blind Spots that are secretly sabotaging your culture and success, and how to eliminate them for good. Every tool in this collection is designed to elevate how you think, speak, and lead, because game changers don't follow trends, they set standards. Download the Game Changers Leadership Collection now. It's free, it's powerful, and it's built for leaders like you. I'm Dr. Sharalyn Payne, and this is your Leadership Edge. Thank you for joining me on The Game Changer with Dr. Sharalyn, where we don't follow trends, we set them, and we don't just lead teams, we shift legacies. If today's message challenged, stretched, or inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, tag it, lead through it, because real leaders don't just consume wisdom, they multiply it. Want to go deeper? Subscribe to the Ultra Influential newsletter for exclusive tools, behind-the-scenes strategy, and weekly mindset shifts for the leader ready to move nations, markets, and minds. Visit www.smpistrategies.com or send a note to leadership@smpistrategies.com. And if you're ready for next level coaching or consulting that positions you as the right leader at the right time in the right place, let's talk. This is what we do, and we do it with precision, power, and purpose. Remember, change isn't just something you lead, it's something you become. Stay bold, stay brilliant, stay a game changer.